This is Castle Combe, and these are the 41 cars that are racing today. This is the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy. Over the years, we've seen many guest drivers come and go in this series, and today is no exception. We've got a couple of guest drivers who are also racing in borrowed cars. Paul, this is actually BJ's car, but you're racing it this weekend, so what's going on there?
Well, it's just a way we keep the costs down, really. BJ does a double header and I do the second race, and the single headers he lets me sort of race the cars. So BJ's next out to be in Snetterton. So it's just a good way to keep the costs down, really. We share the cost between us.
Excellent stuff. And so when you're racing, it's number 8, is it?
It's number 8 when I'm racing and number 38 when BJ's racing. So we remove the stickers off the car so the 38's showing. So.
Excellent stuff. Well, are you looking forward to getting out there today?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Have you raced at Castle Combe before?
No, first time. So looking forward to it. It's a very fast circuit. So yeah, a little bit worried, but we'll see how we get on.
So was it your first time out there today in quali, or have you done track days here?
I've done one track day on Friday. So got to know where the corners are, and qualifying's 20th, so we'll see how we get on in the race.
I'm joined now by Stu Mason and John Wolfe. Stu, you own this car here, but you're not actually driving it today.
That's correct, yeah, it's my car, but this weekend John's going to be driving it.
So how come you've let John loose?
Well, I've known John for a long time, and he had to have a go last year, and I thought about it over the winter and thought, well, yeah, why not? So I'm not planning to do all the races this year anyway, so John wanted to do Castle Combe, so here we are.
It's very generous of you, John. Any pressure in that, knowing that it's not actually your car?
Just slightly, yes. As Stu said, we've got a good friendship, and hopefully I won't spoil it today. I have raced about 8 years ago, so I'm quite nervous about getting back in the car. I've never raced a Lotus either, so we'll see what happens.
And have you raced here at Combe before?
I've raced here at Combe before, yes, in the Caterham, but as I said, that was a while ago now. Hopefully I've still got the talent.
Well, I wish you the best of luck out there, and I think it's almost time to get going.
Almost, yes. A few last nerves. Wish me luck.
Good luck, thank you.
Cheers, thanks.
Ken, your garage is Perry's, and you've come around now as the series sponsor. How has that happened?
Well, I've been taking part in the series for the last couple of years, and I felt I wanted to put something in it, and obviously there's still a commercial benefit because the Lotus community is very wide, and whilst we don't actually sell Lotus cars, Lotus drivers buy other types of cars, and it's all about getting the brand out there.
What cars do you sell?
We sell all sorts of cars. We sell Jaguars, Land Rovers, Vauxhalls, Peugeots, Mazdas, Kias, Alfa Romeos, Fiat, Seat. I've probably missed a few out, but a big range of cars. So have a look at our internet, www.perrys.co.uk, and see what we've got for sale.
Well, we're down here on the grid here at Combe, and 41 Lotus are taking their places for race 1 today. You can see behind me Ben Pitch here in 3rd position. Down in 2nd, we've got Craig Denman, who doesn't race that regularly with the series, and taking pole for the first time ever is Steve Williams.
Thanks, Gemma. A full field of the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy cars here at Castle Combe, with Steve Williams taking pole position, Craig Denman alongside him, Ben Pitch in 3rd. A good qualifying for him, and watch from the MG specialist Adrian Beer in 5th place. Ken Savage we saw earlier, he starts in 13th position. The local specialist Mark Funnell lines up 14th, and still they come 21st position, going to Tom Chataway, who ended his last race at Silverstone in the gravel trap. Vital Chahoun well up in 22nd position as well. As we move towards back of the field, Pete Story and Donald Cannard, they're 31st and 32nd, and then Nigel Hannon well down in 38th. All on his own, back of the grid, 41st, that's Ben Highland. 41 cars lining up, the ambulance comes into place, away we go. Good start from Steve Williams as the field all move cleanly away. It's a curved starting grid here at Castle Combe, in car with Craig Denman as we head into Folly Corner. Absolutely flat out right-hander before they climb up Avon Rise on towards Quarry as Mark Speller moves in 2nd position in the Gold Leaf Tribute machine. He challenges Williams as we break into Quarry Corner over Avon Rise, and it's Williams who's got the advantage. Also well up is Luigi Valentino Mazza in car with Adrian Beer, who spins, and it looks like he may have had a helping hand. Round goes Beer, disaster for him, and so it's the bottom of the barrel for Beer as the leader Steve Williams goes into the chicane. Everybody streaming through, 3 or 4 abreast. Chicanes added about 10 years ago to slow down this ferociously fast circuit. Another spin there to the rear of the field as we go back in car with Craig Demon. He is chasing Luigi Valentino Mazza. Mazza, let's not forget, in his first season of car racing, and he's been doing very well thus far. Podiums at Brands Hatch and at Silverstone. Somebody running very wide into Tower there in the midfield as Williams gets it a little bit wrong as they go through Bobbies and accelerate on towards Camp Corner to complete the first lap. This, as always, in Lotus on Track Elise Trophy, a 20-minute race. Back in car with Craig Demon. He looks to the inside of Mazza as Speller looks to the inside of Williams into Camp Corner. Very rapid right-hander, and they come through to complete the first lap. So we've got 2 gaps falling. Mazza under pressure from Craig Demon. Everybody else streaming through. There is Gary Broad in number 23 as we go back in car with Craig Demon as we jink our way up Avon Rise. It's flat out through the left-hander and then hard on the brakes, the right-hander at Quarry as Speller goes to lead. Mark Speller finds the gap on the inside, through goes past Steve Williams. So Williams now sitting in behind Mark Speller. And Speller aggressively covers the inside line. Into the S's they go, and it is still Speller just from Steve Williams and Mark Speller, who last weekend was sharing a Ferrari with Marco Pudden at Brands Hatch. This weekend he's back in Lotus on Track Elise Trophy as the field all stream through as ever, dicing throughout the pack. They're a little bit further down the order than we'd expect. The likes of Greg Noble as Ben Pitch as well. He's been shuffled well down there in the green 78 car. He is fighting in the lower reaches of the top 10 as the leading duo make their way through Bobbies and then on towards Hammerdown as they head to Camp Corner. Pretty lurid in the midfield. The drivers pushing as hard as they can. Simon Phillips as well in the white number 40 car. Would expect to see him further up the order as Craig Demon latches himself onto the tail of Steve Williams, and Demon gets a very good run going through Camp Corner. We go in car with Craig Demon as he sits in Steve Williams' slipstream through Folly, which in the dry is a non-event really, but in the wet it's a terrifying corner. As Speller moves across to keep Williams at bay, and he may be inspired by Sebastian Vettel there because Mark Speller slammed the door very firmly on Steve Williams on the straight, but it's Speller who persists in the lead with Steve Williams just behind. And then Craig Demon in the bright orange car, and then a little bit of a gap back into 4th position, and that is possibly John Wolfe in number 80. John Wolfe burrowing the car this weekend. We heard from him earlier, and the ex-Caterham racer well up the pack. Ben Pitch there in the Hoffman's 78 machine. He is being pressured by Martin Roberts as we go in car with the local hero Mark Funnell as he sets off in pursuit of the cars in front of him. They head in towards Tower Corner of the road, just falling away. He makes a move up the inside of the number 58 car of Alan Busey, the Golf liveried machine, as we go back to another iconically liveried machine at the front of the field. That's Mark Speller. What about the Busey battle? Well, it looks as if for the moment he's lost out to Mark Funnell. Back in car with Craig Demon as Steve Williams pressurises Mark Speller into Camp Corner. Fantastic in-car footage here. We can see how quick these corners around Castle Combe are. So we've now got a group of 6 or so cars forming up for lead. We've then got a bit of a gap back where it looks like it could be John Lemaster holding up the next group of cars as we go in car with Craig Demon again as he goes to the inside of Steve Williams into Quarry Corner. And these 3 cars fighting away, it's enabling some of those a little bit further back to pull back onto their tail. So we've got John Wolfe, we've got Luigi Valentino Mazza as Wolfe pressurises Denman as we go streaming through Bobbies and then accelerating on through Old Paddock and then on towards Tower Bend and back in car with Craig Denman as Tower a very quick right-hander again. We have got running very wide, somebody in front. I think that's John Lemaster. Mark Funnell takes full advantage. He is now in the box seat chasing down Ben Pitch as we go into Tower Bend. A little bit further back, some argy-bargy there. It's Ken Savage, who was Savage. He was pushed unceremoniously out of the way as we move on towards the end of another lap. Simon Phillips taking the shortcut, number 14 there. Hans Baumhart getting right in the middle of the action, as he always does. All of which is enabling Mark Speller to build a very slight advantage, about 2 car lengths. Back in car with Craig Demon. He looks to the inside of Steve Williams as they go into Folly, and Williams puts him on the grass at 100 miles an hour, and absolutely no cause given there from Steve Williams as we go back into Quarry Corner. Mark Speller at the moment showing them the way home, and Speller vastly experienced racer. He will just try and be as smooth as he can and build the gap as the rest of the pack bounce their way across the grass. So Craig Demon still trying to pick his way past Steve Williams, who's doing a very fine and very robust job in defence as they streak on towards Tower Bend. So the right-hander at Tower, they'll be arriving very shortly. Here they come now as the leading sextet. We are in car with the third place man again, Craig Demon, as we head up to Bobby's chicane. Into Bobby's we go, no way through there. It's deceptively open on the way in, and it's often the scene of some unfortunate incidents. We've got some dust being picked up. Suspect that's the race leader, Mark Speller, as Ben Pitch chases through in pursuit of the leading group as Williams looks to the inside of Speller as we go into Camp Corner, and Steve Williams is going to take the lead. Superb manoeuvre. Will he hold it? It is tightening exit here at Camp, and no, Mark Speller jinks back to the inside, so they go side by side. Craig Demon has got the best seat in the house as we go through Folly, and they are pretty much swapping door handles. We go 3 abreast as we head up Avon Rise. It's Steve Williams who leads. No, it's not. It's Mark Speller who leads as they go into Quarry. Now, will Speller push Williams wide? Also, hello to John Wolfe as he barges through into third position. He's then going to run wide. So Craig Demon, has he got third? No, because there is number 80 of John Wolfe, but Demon's got the inside line. So Craig Demon doesn't have the inside line because Luigi Valentino Matza goes through into third position. So it's now Speller from Williams, then Matza, who is a maximum attack, with then Craig Demon and John Wolfe. And I imagine that Wolfe will be howling because 1 minute he was third, he's now back into 5th place as we head on towards Tower Corner once more. As these leading 6 cars, absolutely superb battle. I think it's Sean Nash who's there in 6th position, and he is doing the sensible thing, just watching the action unfolding in front of him as Speller bounces across the curbs. Now, this is the section circuit where Steve Williams is so good as they come out of Bobby's and accelerate on towards Camp Corner. As yes, Williams, we can see him closing on to Speller. Matza is being caught by Craig Denman, and Luigi Valentino Matza in the yellow car is demoted by Craig Denman in the flying orange because Denman goes through up into 3rd position, and now Matza's got to worry about John Wolfe. Sean Nash right in his tail, and also Mark Funnell has fought his way through the Ken Savage and Gary Broad battle there at the rear of that particular pack as the leaders come back into Quarry Corner. Craig Denman in for the stands of this race, a very lonely 3rd position because he's only got 2 car lengths in front of him and 2 car lengths behind him, so he holds 3rd for the moment as we go into the S's once more. Still, it is Speller who continues to lead, and Speller, despite all the action going behind, has held on to the lead since the very early stages of this race and is now beginning with Steve Williams to pull away from Craig Denman, who has got Luigi Valentino Matza, John Wolfe and Sean Nash right in his tail. There is Greg Noble in the Union Jack livery car as he makes his way into the S's. Leading duo go through Towers. Matza barges to the inside of Craig Denman. I think he was holding his line. Luigi Valentino Matza, you can see the Elise scrabbling for grip as they head up towards Bobby's, as we've got John Wolfe on the inside, and Craig Denman has got no option but to test the rallying properties of a Lotus Elise, which he finds are wanting in comparison to the black stuff, so he loses a couple of positions as Ben Pitch comes into the fray. So it's now Luigi Valentino Matza, John Wolfe and Sean Nash. They are fighting for 3rd, 4th and 5th. We've then got Mark Funnell, and here is Craig Denman once more. So Denman really losing out through that grassy moment. Now, will he be able to pick his way past Mark Funnell, who's got a lot of experience around here at Castle Combe? So he will be a hard man to pass, and you can see that Funnell taking pretty much the racing school line as they go through Folly, over Avon Rise into Quarry Corner. So often the scene of drama, and Luigi Valentino Matza, for somebody who is in only his 5th ever car race, is really driving quite superbly, as trying to keep at bay as best he can. John Wolfe looks to the inside of Luigi Valentino Matza, no way through there, so Wolfe remains in 4th position. He's keeping the Wolfe at the door, so Matza has got that final podium spot for the moment as Sean Nash, Mark Funnell and Craig Denman are working the ones to tell that battle. Then we've got Ben Pitch a little bit lonely further back. The 2 leaders go through the front of the screen. They're as close as they're having as Funnell leers to the inside of Sean Nash. Through he goes as Speller and Williams bouncing across the curb. Now, Steve Williams, this is a good run he's got here on Mark Speller. He sits right in his slipstream into Camp Corner. They will come very, very shortly. They chase down Hammerdown past the enormous crowd we always enjoy here at Castle Combe. Speller holds the inside line. Williams contemplates looking to the outside. No way through there. So instead he just slots in the racing line behind Mark Speller and will follow in his slipstream as they climb up towards Quarry Corner. Matza and Wolfe go through almost side by side as we go back in car with Craig Denman, as he settles in behind Sean Nash. as they climb up towards Quarry Corner once more. Here comes the race leader, Mark Speller, leading into Quarry Corner. Speller, the front right tyre bouncing off the circuit. He is pushing as hard as he can. Back in car with Craig Demon, a variety of lines through Quarry Corner, of which Demon's the least successful. Ouch, that must have hurt, as he bumps across the escape road. Through the S's goes the race leader Mark Speller. We go in car with Nigel Ayres a little bit further down the order. This is the battle for 20th position as Nigel Ayres climbs up into Quarry Corner. Plenty of cars fighting away ahead of him, as is so often the case in the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy. And I think that's Dave Carr there in the bright green car who is heading up that particular battle, as the leading duo once more into Bobby's. And Speller so aggressive through that chicane, it really does open door for Steve Williams, as we've got Paul Baker there just leading a little bit of a tussle. Baker carrying Novice across the rear of the car, which means that he has done less than car races, as indeed has his Dyson partner, that's Nigel Hannam, also in number 59. As the leaders go through Camp Corner, so leading duo breaking well clear of John Wolfe, who has now got Mark Funnell right on his tail. Then we've got Sean Nash, Craig Demon, and it's Luigi Valentino Mazza who's lost out on this lap. He has been shuffled to the rear of this particular pack, as we enjoy Craig Demon's viewpoint once more, as another battle going on. That is Tom Chataway, who has got just behind him the number 13 car of Matthew Bartlett. Chataway and Bartlett both hard competitors, as is Greg Noble, who is right on their tail, and also Paul McNeely, who we were hearing from earlier, and Paul McNeely, who has been really going quicker and quicker as this year's gone on. So it's still Speller and Williams at the head of the field as they go through Old Paddock. And a bit of a gap back is John Wolfe, who's got Mark Funnell on his tail, then Sean Nash, Craig Demon, Luigi Valentino Mazza, and then a lot of empty road, and it's Ben Pitch will be next one through as Stu Williams looks to the inside of Mark Speller as they head in towards Tower. That is number 42, and that is Mark Gooday, who isn't having such a good day. He is well down in the mid-20s at the moment, but trying to fight his way up through the field. As the leading duo make their way on towards Camp Corner once more. This is really, as the race has progressed, Steve Williams' best chance of making a manoeuvre, but Mark Speller knows just how to cover that line. So Speller and Williams just kissing the curb as they go through Camp and streaming through as they head on to another lap. Mark Funnell has made his way up into third position, then Sean Nash, Craig Demon, Luigi Valentino Mazza, having made that error, not really able to fight back. Bit of a gap back to Ben Pitch, and he has got Martin Roberts right on his tail, as has Mark Speller, as Steve Williams close onto Speller's tail as they go through Quarry Corner. They'll accelerate onto the S's now. Somebody has expired in the foreground of the picture, the driver out of the car. The car, unfortunately, is smoking away, so that means no overtaking through the S's. Although for Mark Speller, it doesn't really mean slow down. Yes, there we see the car pulled off to the side of the circuit. A great shame as his race comes to an early end. Mark Funnell now beginning to pull away from Sean Nash and the rest of them, but I dare say there's plenty of racing to be done in that particular pack. As through Tower Corner go the leaders. Then here comes battle of third position as Craig Demon beginning to reel in Sean Nash through Bobby Chicane, and that's where Speller loses time. You can see the car bucking and weaving over the curve, and it gives Williams, who takes a slightly more conservative line, the chance to really close in Speller as they accelerate on towards Camp Corner. Camp, the right-hander, and we used to, in the days before the tyre barrier there, it used to just be a solid earthen bank, and about 15 years ago we had two Porsches that vaulted the barrier there at Camp. And the corner, despite the additional runoff, is no less fearsome. It really does give the drivers an adrenaline buzz, because they exit Camp near on 100 miles an hour as they then accelerate, as we do now with Craig Demon through Folly, and then the speed builds as the road goes up over Avon Rise as Demon looks the inside of Sean Nash. No way through there. Mark Funnell holding the middle of the road quite literally there, so Sean Nash, he may run a little bit wide there through Quarry. Indeed he does. Now this could give the opening to Craig Demon he's been looking for, as Nash squeezes Demon, but Demon's got the inside line, and Demon, is he going to go through? No, he's not, as Sean Nash holds the line very nicely indeed. So Craig Demon remains in fifth position as Tom Chataway, Matt Bartlett and Greg Noble continue their battle, as still Williams and Speller fight it out at the head of the field. They are already in the mix amidst the back markers as they go into Bobby Chicane, as that could change the situation. There, unfortunately, is Ken Savage at the side of the road. So Ken Savage, who we're hearing from earlier, his race coming to an early and ignoble end. He retires in the number 5 car as the leading duo continue to fight away for the overall honours. And I think this one will go all the way to the checkered flag, We then have a bit of a gap back to Mark Funnell. Then Craig Demon and Sean Nash. We go back in car with Craig Demon. He's got the inside run on Nash as they head into Folly. Now this could be Demon's best opportunity of the race so far as he holds the inside line. Through he goes. They accelerate up over Rise. We can see just less of the picture that Sean Nash hasn't yielded just yet. So the Legion Duo, they make it through Quarry as they set off in pursuit of some of the slightly slower cars in the field. And that looks very congested indeed. It's possibly the 89 car of Simon Jones just holding up Mark Speller there. That possibly gives an opening to Steve Williams, who can settle into Speller's slipstream as this is the Mark Gooday battle. It is currently being headed up by the number 43 car of Phil Stratton Lake. And Stratton Lake went so well at Brands Hatch in March as sideways from Speller through Tower as another car unfortunately exits stage right at Bobby's. The leading duo fight their way through. We then have the gap back to battle for third. You don't really know where to look in this race. There is so much going on with the 41 cars around the Wiltshire venue. As Speller and Steve Williams intercamp, they go, and Williams looking to the inside of Mark Speller, and Williams considered launching himself the manoeuvre. No way through there. Mark Funnell's pulled away from Craig Denman, who has finally made his way past Sean Nash, but Denman, the camera going to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. He should have just been going smoothly to the right. Craig Denman pushing as hard as he can as we go side by side for lead into Quarry Corner, and it's Speller just from Steve Williams. Stunning race as Denman now sets off in pursuit of Mark Funnell, and Craig Denman, now he's seen off Sean Nash. I think he will be able to pull away because Nash has got Luigi Valentino Mazza to worry about as the race begins to move towards its closing stages. As yes, Mazza closing into the tail of Sean Nash. There's plenty of battles going on throughout the field. We've still got Martin Roberts and Ben Pitch. They are fighting away. Then John Lemaster well up. Also a good drive from Adam Busey. He's got Simon Phillips right on his tail. And Adam Busey, who has had the odd excursion thus far in 2010, going very well and is on course for what could well be a top 10 race finish. The leading duo pick their way past the car of Paul Baker, who does the right thing and pulls well clear, as Greg Noble has found his way past Tom Chataway, Matt Bartlett and the rest. They continue to battle away. Neil Livesey in number 17 also in that battle. Livesey, the car in a livery, almost a tribute, you'd say, to the McLaren Formula 1 car. We go in car with Adrian Beer, and Beer runs wide, and Beer is heading for the tyre barrier. He just keeps it out of the wall. So Adrian Beer, well, that was a little bit leery as he now settles in behind Dave Carr. Oh, Speller being pushed by Steve Williams as they go into Quarry. So we have got Steve Williams still hot in pursuit of Mark Speller. Speller having to cover the inside line, so goes the S's. Steve Williams somewhat superficially lights ablaze. Mark Speller far too experienced to be phased by that as they go through the S's into Old Paddock. As you can see, the spectators absolutely rapt. They are thoroughly enjoying this battle as Mark Funnell, Craig Denman go through. And yes, Denman well clear. Sean Nash has got Luigi Valentino Mazza still right on his tail as Williams and Speller into Tower. And Steve Williams, well, he had some success in the modified class this year and has been tenacious in the 2010 Lotus on Track Elise Trophy, but this is by far his best performance of the season, and he's doing stunningly to stay in touch with Mark Speller. And Speller in turn has done very well to hold off the attentions of Steve Williams. We go into Camp Corner once more, and we really are beginning to enter the closing stage of the race. So Speller, he'll just be looking for that lap counter to come down as through goes Mark Speller. Steve Williams hot in pursuit as Dave Carr looking to overtake 3 or 4 cars at once in the green machine, and contact and a spin. Oh no! And so Dave Carr rotates in the Donnelly Track Academy number 30 car. I don't think that was some of the advice that Martin Donnelly gave. At least Dave Carr recovers back into the action. We are on the final lap of the race, and it is still too close to call because Speller and Williams separated, as they have been for much of the race, by less than the car's length. We've got a couple of the slower cars. They'll be lapping as they go through the S's now, and then through Old Paddock on towards Tower Bend. And Steve Williams, he was going to pick his way through. It's either going to have to be at Tower, which they'll be arriving at imminently, or possibly a last gasp manoeuvre into Camp Corner. There's Craig Denman going through in the bright orange car. Still Nash doing a fine job of keeping Luigi Valentino Mazza at bay. Into Tower they go, and Speller still keeping Steve Williams at bay. We have just the Bobby chicane, and then Camp Corner to go. They are bottled up behind the number 49 car of Steve Tranter, as Speller jinks the outside of Tranter. Coming with him as well as Steve Williams. It's going to be a drag race to Camp Corner. Steve Williams as close as he has been. He almost pushes Speller as they head into Camp Corner. Speller covers the inside line, and Mark Speller, as long as he doesn't run wide, should take victory in the first race here at Castle Combe for the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy. He does, as Mark Speller takes a superb win with Steve Williams just behind him. Absolutely fantastic race as they take the very, very well-deserved applause from the sizable and knowledgeable crowd here at Castle Combe. And really quite a stunning drive from Mark Speller, who is confirmed as the race winner. Steve Williams second, Craig Demon taking third. Luigi Valentino Mazza on the final lap did find his way past Sean Nash. Fantastic race from Lotus on Track Elise Trophy, as ever.
Mark, a fantastic race, really incredible to watch. You had to enjoy it, but hard work.
It was hard work. Steve was quicker, and I managed to get the jump on him at the start of the second lap, and got a good start, but it was hard work keeping him back the whole time.
Had the race been any longer, do you think he would have got past you, or did you just defended well?
No, I'd have kept him back. He wasn't that quick.
Fair enough. Well done.
Cheers.
Steve, did you enjoy that?
Yes. If you can enjoy coming second, then of course I enjoyed it. Obviously, much nicer to win, but it's much nicer to have a good race. Clean. Mark made the car fairly wide. I think that was a bit obvious, but we'll see what we can do later on with him.
There were a couple of points where I thought you were going to sneak past.
There's a couple of points where I thought I was going to go up his backside as well. No, I did tried getting past. There was a couple of places I was a lot quicker than him, but he knew that and he closed the door on there. So fair play though.
Well, more of the same later on then.
We hope so. Thanks.
Craig, you had a great start from second, dropped back a little bit, but you made it back up to third.
Yeah, not the best start. Like I say, I got jumped off the line by Mark, but good tussle for the first couple of laps, but drove like a bit of a muppet after that and did a bit of mowing, did a bit of grass cutting, dropped back to 8th, and then managed to get back to 3rd. So, yeah, not too bad. Good fun.
And did you enjoy the race?
I really did, yeah. Yeah, I really did, yeah. It was a bit hairy at times. I was overdriving here and there, but good fun, yeah, enjoyed it.
Thank you. Well, fantastic racing here for the first race of the day at Castle Combe. And if you enjoyed that, then stay with us, because coming up in programme 2, we've got the second race of the day.